And now we are. So yes, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome to our Unlimited Network Mastermind, this meeting that we get here together every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And today is Saturday, March 5th already, 2016. And here we are, people like you and me, open. I love because this time was dedicated to conscious entrepreneurs, is what we talk about, you know, the entrepreneur spirit that are really people that express this openness to manifest, to have more, to engage in life fully, physically. And this time when we say conscious entrepreneurs means like spiritually too, consciously, okay? Consciousness is spirit to me. So I welcome all of you. I know there is a lot of people on the other side just seeing the recording, and I welcome for you dedicating the time to this. And today I just put a post on Facebook talking about persistence. You know, like it's so beautiful, I think, and powerful to understand that persistence is necessary in any change. You know, like we come from habit to do things in a certain way, and then, you know, to really change that. Well, it's something that will require our persistence, our commitment, our practice. And no better word than practice to talk about the book that we are studying here all together. Thanks to you, Doc Fran. That is The Abundance Book by Lawrence Crane. And before I say that, I just want to say hello from Arne Ransen. I know you see my face in his picture here. I'm in his Google Plus, because today he's teaching a workshop, so he cannot be with us. But I mean, you know how much he loves this mastermind and all of you guys. So he says hello, and I say hello to him back, holding the space for all of us here together today without Arne. So thank you for being here. And you know, this book that I was just talking right now, The Abundance Book, it is a practical book, and there is a lot of practice to do here. So I will love Doc Fran, that is our wisdom guy, I will call it here, you know, the one that is leading us to really get this information in a deep level. We are going to play with this, Doc Fran, see what we do here with real practice. I understand, you know, in general, like mastermind is reading a book and, you know, whatever. In this mastermind, Unlimited Network Mastermind, we try not only to read, but to integrate the work, to really get it in. So we talk in between, and we practice, and we share, and we make it very human, you know, very personal, to apply it in our personal journey, our human journey, okay? So welcome, welcome everybody again, and welcome Doc Fran. This is your moment to read and to support that. Welcome, welcome.
Well, good morning, and thanks, Dr. Monica. And Arne, I hope that you're being very successful and helpful out there in Iowa. And we miss you this morning. And I'm excited to do this. This is an interesting chapter. We're really into practicing and doing the release technique, and verbally it's a very simple technique. So it is, you know, I've trained before that one of the things that I want to learn to do impeccably is to experience phenomena, not simply intellectualize it, or to observe it, or to look at it, or study it, or read it. And boy, this chapter hit me square in the face with the reality of having that come to life for all of us today. So we are going to spend time today doing less talking and more action. So I hope all of you will do this and actually do the exercises. And I'm going to ask for some real-time feedback. You know, for those of you that are on the listen line, as you're doing the exercise this morning, when you get a sensation, if you get a sensation, or if you don't get a sensation, write a chat comment to Dr. Monica so that we can share it with the group, because the power of this chapter this morning is literally in our practicing the application of this simple technique, but it will take practice. Like riding a bicycle is very simple once you learn how to do it. It didn't seem so simple when we were a terrified 5-year-old learning how to do it. So I want us all to approach the chapter as terrified 5-year-olds this morning, and put into play the mechanics of the release technique. So, chapter 4, the method of releasing. Happiness is calmness with no emotions or effort. Unhappiness involves energy, emotions, and effort. That's from Lester Levinson. I want you to think about somebody or some situation that is particularly agitating. Try not to pick the worst thing in your life right now. We will build up to that. We learn how to crawl before we learn how to walk. So as you learn now to use the technique, you will eventually begin using it on more complex matters. So think about some annoying person in your life, maybe in the office, maybe at home, or some situation you would like to change. Point or tilt your head downward slightly toward your stomach or chest, which is your feeling center. This is the area where you can erase things. That's the erasing mode, the erase button. If you only access your head, all it does is record and play back information. It does not erase thoughts or feelings. If you push the erase button and access your stomach or chest, you will be in the erasing mode. Because this is such a new and different concept, let's play with it and try it so you can comprehend the experience of it. So think about a person or situation that is not so wonderful in your life. Point or tilt your head downward towards your feeling center, your stomach or chest. This disengages your head and activates the feeling center, which is the erase mode. You will notice an unwanted energy in your stomach or chest area. Take some time to notice it. We are just looking for some energy out of harmony in that area. Maybe it's a clutching feeling or a knot in the area. Again, notice that it is unwanted energy. All right, so that's what we're going to do now. I want each of us to visualize, think about an unpleasant person and experience, and then you can either leave your eyes open or close your eyes, whichever, and tilt your head down and look at your stomach. And we're going to have some periods of silence here while we actually allow this release technique to activate and work within us. If you get a release, if you feel the energy, then communicate to Dr. Monica and share it with the group.
Okay, I want to share a little bit here. Well, to begin with, it's like, okay, what do I pick? You know, what do I pick? What do I pick? So something that, you know, is not, I'd say, like super big, even though I am in a very emotional state today. I want to go to something like could be small or something like that, and I just noticed the capacity. You know, it's like I do this work. That's my work. This is my awakening coaching. Let's say, coaching. But I never express it on that way. Like the fact that I put my head down is like, for me as a goddess, the way that I do my work is to sit on my throne, to allow what is in this moment to be. So I pick a person that I'm not pleasant, I don't enjoy really to be, I don't know. So what I found when I put my head down was this sensation, of like pushing away, like a no, let's say, call it that way. And I spend there, a little time just by allowing it. Like I love the sensation of permission, that this technique is teaching us right now. Just the fact that, okay, just put your head down and check what's going on there. Experientially talking, feeling talking, right? So I found this like no, let's say rejection, whatever it is, no, whatever. And I stay right there, and it's very okay, It's very okay. I don't know. I don't feel any like super rush of anything or whatever, but I feel peace and like okay, So I want to share. That's my side right now, trying to apply this, in something that I don't know. When I think about that person right now, it's okay. It is okay, So let's see if anybody else would like to share something, because I agree with you, Doc Fran, that it's simple, but let's do it, because we say it easy. And to me, it's like constantly to be, aware of what it is that is going on here, Do I close up or do I expand, and to work with that. So anyone would like to share something else here? Yes, Candace, go for it, please.
Good morning. I thought of a person who had been a landlord in the past, and I'd ask him something, can I do something, put in a garden or put an extra pot on the patio or something like that. And he'd say, yeah, great idea. And the next day he'd change his mind. No, I thought about it. It was not a great idea. So this sent me a little crazy. But it only happened a few times. But, I was like, I was already into law of attraction, so I was wondering, how am I creating this? Anyway, just putting my head down in this moment and contemplating him or that situation with him involved, I suddenly felt a little shudder of release, and it just left. And then I thought of him again, and it's more peaceable. He's just a guy that I know, and he's a nice guy most of the time, and he's still a nice guy, and so it became much more neutral really quickly. Very nice feeling. I think I jumped ahead. I don't know if we were supposed to release yet or not, but I'm a fast mover. What do you
say? Yes, I think it's wonderful, and it's like it's not really, if I understand or from my experience, it's not really us doing anything except to give permission, to what is. So that's the result, I think, of allowing it. So yes, the release is natural in you, maybe more evident. I love it, and at the end, I think it's practice again, practice and practice. But let's see what Doc Fran has to say.
Well, yes. What occurred to me as I looked down, I thought to myself, how would I know if there's a different feeling here, because I don't know what it felt like before I thought about it. So maybe we should back up, and without thinking about anything unpleasant at all, why don't we tilt our head and just assess what situation, what feeling is in your chest or abdomen without any particularly pleasant or unpleasant thought in our minds. And then we'll repeat the exercise with an unpleasant thought and see if we can detect a change. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, sure. I mean, let's anything that can help us to play, to dance. First, I think you're right, Dr. Fran. Like, we don't even are aware of how do we feel in the moment, and to me, I'm aware today. I feel very shocked, by the way, very sad, and kind of moved. I had bad news about something, and I feel affected by. So I'm aware of that, but I don't want to go to that concrete thing because I think it's huge, you know.
Yeah.
So I have to really take my time, you know, to allow whatever is going on here. But I think you're very right on, you know, we, in general, it's like we don't really know what we're feeling. So maybe to just put our head down, you know, just open the space to detect if there is something going on there, you know, could be a good try. So let's practice that, and then we open the call again, and after we invoke together or provoke something more negative. But let's practice to, like what you say, Dr. Fran, to bring that head down a little bit, just to observe what is going on there without any clear intention. Just that is the intention. So let's see.
All right. Well, for
Mm-hmm.
me, all I just have is basically no sensation there. It's just there. Where of a little pressure as you bend your head down, it causes your abdomen to distend a little bit. So there's a little pressure there. So that was it. So did anybody else? Did that help? I mean, you know, now we've taken basically a baseline of sensation. So let's go in now and you know, think of the time you saw your cat get run over by a car or something like that. I don't know. Oh, sharp pain in my stomach. I don't know. Let's. All right. So let's repeat it now, and I'll repeat the command. So think about a person or situation that is not so wonderful in your life. Point or tilt your head down towards your feeling center, your stomach or chest. This disengages your head and activates the feeling center, which is the erase mode. You will notice an unwanted energy in your stomach or chest area, and take some time to notice it. At this point, we're just looking to feel for some energy out of harmony in that area. Maybe it's a clutching feeling or a knot in that area. Again, notice any unwanted energy.
Okay, I want to share here a little bit. It's like, well, two things that I noticed. One is that when the action of putting my head down, I can see that disconnects, I can see my mind separate. It's like disconnects my own mental activity as the only thing happening here. It's funny. So I love the movement of, it's almost like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm releasing, or I'm like embracing, or I am like opening the space for, whatever we want to say it here. But I really see like the movement of this gesture. Don't has to be like a lot, but to me, like just like this gesture is intentional. You know, it's the intention to look at the erase button, I think it called it, no, in the book. Look at the possibility of releasing, you know, and remember that we are working with the releasing technique. So all this practice that we are doing here has a purpose, you know, that is, we understood from the chapters before, is to let go all what the power, everything, you know. So release, I think, is what this technique is teaching us here, is the only thing we can do here, to let go what is not. So what truly is, I lost connection, I believe.
You did lose very quickly, but you completed your thought.
Okay.
By the time it came back on, so it was fine.
Okay, good, good, good. So what I noticed is that, you know, I was thinking about something that disturbed me right now. One thing that I would love is to have the money to go to see my friend. I received a news this morning that something is really wrong with one of my friends. And you know, it's like, gosh, you know, I would love to take, you know, to have the money to buy a ticket and be there close to her bed, you know. And that I feel sad when I talk about that. But this, again, is my own mental story. So when I stopped that and I went down, you know, I could feel a knot on my stomach, you know, like a little tension there on my stomach. But the sense of relaxing right there and permission was more peace than sadness, or what I get when I talk about wanted to go. Was so funny. So I do see, you know, the benefit of disconnecting from the storytelling here, you know, of the mind that will run the show. I don't know. That was my experience. I would love to hear any other, but I think this technique, release technique, is really for us to practice what other people maybe call forgiveness or letting go. You know, easy to say, but how you do it? Well, here we have a clear, I would say, you know, practice in the sense, okay, just, you know, do this, you know. So let's see what you feel. Doc Fran, yes, I see you open there.
Oh, you know, I thought of 2 or 3 different people that have been very unpleasant forces in my life in the near past, and it didn't really create any change in my feeling area, feeling center, and then it suddenly occurred to me that I had already done the releasing and forgiveness on this. So I was trying to search around and actually find something present time that's irritating me, and there's not a whole lot irritating me right now. So I think that's interesting. So does anybody did anybody get a you know, a real sensation? Dr. Monica shared hers with her knot in her stomach, which is quite dramatic. So Candace, I think your microphone's open.
Yes, I thought of a time when I was driving at night. Not too long ago, I was in Santa Barbara, and I pulled off the exit toward the house, and so not very far from home. And somehow the way the lights were made it hard for me to see. And as I moved forward, and there was still a decent amount of traffic and so on, and I went into a little bit of fear, because concern's a better word, not big fear, but I tightened up a little bit. And I was thinking about that, how I, as my head was tilted down, I was just allowing that to be in such a neutral space, just observing it and feeling kindly toward it, so to speak, that place in me that had clenched up in concern or a little bit of fear. And yes, I moved on through. Yes, I got to the stop sign, made the turns, and so on, and everything went well. But it's amazing how delicate our system is, that I would carry a subtle feeling like that here, you know, a few months later, and that would be what would come up. Yes, we're looking for not very big events while we're practicing here, but that was just, I don't know if anything changed on it or not, and it might have been a slightly appropriate fear. Hey, I couldn't see, the car was moving, things were happening. You know, I needed to take care of myself and my vehicle. So, anyway, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for practicing. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, I don't know if, what, you know, it's like, I don't receive any message from the people on the other side, you know, like doing the practice or whatever, but I think it's wonderful that we can make it real, you know, so it's not theory here, let's practice, and, you you know, some maybe we feel something, maybe some not. You know, to me, like you, Doc Fran, and you, Candace, and we are for so many years in this path, you know, that maybe we handle Ho'oponopono, forgiveness, we can apply in many other ways. But this one, from my perspective, is like cling cling. So to really be aware all the time of what it is that, you know, let's say that you react to a car that you know, is pushing you or is just behind you, you know, and the tendency that we have is to blame. You know, like, oh my gosh, this guy, blah, blah. So I think doesn't matter what is the excuse, but this book is teaching us, is supporting us, go inward. You are the creator of your life, you know. So I love just to be more supported in that direction in general. And one technique will work for one, another maybe for another. But I love the fact that we can stop in any moment, you know, and choose to often offer permission and space to whatever is going on. That is up to us to allow it, you know. Okay, Doc Fran.
Well, Monica, you just hit a key point. I think is that because we are eternal spiritual beings inhabiting this physical plane, what Crane is doing here is teaching us a physical method, an action, a physical action we can take in our physical universe to key in our spiritual power. And so he's teaching us how to crawl before we walk. And for a lot of us, this is new territory to actually, you know, allow our physical power and consciousness to express itself. And so since we do love to be conscious and in control of things in our life, he's teaching us a simple technique. So, all right, so we have the first two mechanics. We want to disengage our head so that we disengage our thought process, engage our feeling center, which is our heart or our abdomen, look for energy, look for a change, look for something unsettling, unpleasant, uncomfortable, whatever. And then the next part of our physical action, it goes like this. The way one drills for oil is to first find the oil. So we look for the energy. The energy is our oil. And then we sink a rig or a pipe into the oil pocket. Next, the pipe is uncapped and the oil or energy comes shooting out. Now, this unwanted energy that is trapped in our stomach and our chest wants to leave. The problem is it will not leave if you access your head. It will only leave it will only leave from your stomach or chest area. So once again, think about that situation or person that's particularly bothersome. Put your head down, put an imaginary tube into the unwanted energy, uncap it, and allow it to come shooting out. And, you know, Candace, you hit on a very real phenomenon in our combined spiritual and physical natures, and that is that our minds are tremendous recording secretaries. And we literally do record every event in our lives for every minute of our lives, every second of our lives. And as Nancy and I learned in Scientology, we actually are recording on multiple channels simultaneously, so that when you master the technique of recall of any situation in your life, you will suddenly be aware that there was a fire engine driving by in the distance. You might have heard a train bell. There might have been water dripping in the kitchen. There may have been a baby crying across the street. There could have been flowers that were delivered and the fragrance. Your mind literally records the minutia of details occurring. And why this is important and why Crane is teaching us this technique is that particularly in the occurrence of an unpleasant event, an injury perhaps to yourself, an injury to someone else, the death of a loved one, any traumatic event, that energy becomes trapped and recorded and permanently there. And what's wild is that you could have some. Let's say you watched your pet get hit by a car, and at the instant before it was hit, you heard the screech of the brakes. And so now, when you're walking across the street 20 years later and somebody hits their brakes and screeches them, you get that same feeling in the pit of your stomach because you are literally being re-stimulated and recalling the trauma of watching your pet get hit by a car. That's the way our minds work. And so this technique of allowing us to access our mind and then disengage it and search for that energy, and in this case, again, a nice mechanical exercise for us to do, we can recontact that energy and then consciously, essentially, release it by drilling these imaginary holes in, as we're going to see, opening a window in it. So as you allow the energy to come out, you'll notice that you feel a lighter sensation. I think, Candace, you mentioned that already. But what we're looking for right now is a little sign of release, a little sign of lightness to show that you literally can erase things at will. So if there's more negative energy there, it means you have to go deeper. So put the tube into the energy, go deeper into that unwanted energy, and allow it to come passing through. If you find an unwanted energy in your stomach or chest and the rig or tube illusions are not working for you, can you instead create an imaginary window right where the energy is, where this agitation is? Open that window wide open and just allow that energy to leave through the window, and more and more and more. And so again, we're creating mental constructs that are mimics or metaphors for physical actions so that we can learn to control this spiritual energy control that we all have. Okay, so let's just do it one more time. Go ahead.
Yes, 1 second. I just want to say how important is for me, what you just said right now, because, for example, I read a book yesterday and I was, trying to study this and practicing, and the tube with the oil, that was the first example here, I could even imagine it was not my thing, but the window, I love it, and the window is funny because I could see this beautiful open window there, and even to put a fan, that takes the air out. So what I'm saying is, like, it's beautiful to be playful with this too, and to find the image that for you is liberating, is cleaning up. I don't know, for me that's the sensation, like maybe you can even find, I don't know, a bird that fly out or whatever it is that for you works, okay? But don't get stuck if, for example, for me, the tubes and the oil was not very attractive. I understand the concept, and I think it was great because it helped me to understand. But when I go with my head down, it's like, I don't see a tube with oil there, But I could see a window, like super open, and so I just wanted to say that, Dr. Fran. Thanks.
Oh, I think, no, that was brilliant. That was really brilliant because I'm sure, as we're learning these things, your comment, find the metaphor, find the mental construct that works for you. And it doesn't matter. And that can be, the window is one that's very common. We're all familiar with what the action of opening a window is and does, why it works. It lets out stale air from your house. It lets in fresh air from the outside. That's what I love your metaphor about the bird, so that the unwanted energy flying away from you, because that's all it is, and again, you've used the word permission, which does bring it into the realm of control and mental action, but we do give this unwanted energy permission to pass through. And so it's kind of this is actually really grooving in this chapter for me right now, just the very way that we're interacting between the three of us right now, and you're monitoring our listeners. So all right, well, let's continue on here, and we'll move forward with the chapter here. See if you can bring up something else that agitates you. something that is aggravating or something that perturbs you. And can you allow that energy to come up? Invite it up from your stomach or your chest and allow it to pass through more and more and more. It is important not to judge this unwanted energy. Just say to yourself, it's not good, it's not bad. It's just a phenomena passing through. You do not need to analyze it. You need only to allow it to pass through. Remember, you do not...
One second, no, Fran, because I think this sentence, I don't know, I see my echo here, but this sentence for me is transcendental, okay? And I would love to deepen in a little bit. But it's almost like to become who we truly are, that we already are, let's say, but we are not conscious of that. You know, when we say here, it's not good, it's not bad, it is just phenomena passing through. Passing through what? You know, it's like you, me, you know, I am pure consciousness, pure awareness. I am the space where all things happen, right? So suddenly, I mean, I'm connecting with this word. This is so funny because it's really my spiritual discovery or self-realization, if you want. But reading these letters, you know, this sentence here is not good, it's not bad, it's just phenomena passing through. So I am the awareness. When I put my head down and I, you know, connect with that permission that I was talking before, it's just allow what is here, allow what is, you know. At the end, it's almost like, let's use the phenomena pass through the awareness that I am. So we are talking enlightenment here, you know, so grounded and so real and so, you know, it's like, okay, oh my gosh, you know, was so complicated in spiritual terms, and it's so simple here, you know, in this rational or logical way of saying this, that I wanted to highlight it, because we master to be who we truly are, that is pure awareness, and to don't grasp anything, or to don't push away anything, to don't judge, whatever. Of course, it's beautiful and powerful, you know, but we are practicing that every time that we put our head down, or every time that you sit on your throne, or every time that you do Ho'oponopono or forgiveness, you know. But in this technique, I love the way that is expressed, you know. It's not good or bad, it's just phenomenon passing through. What a liberation, you know. I can feel it so powerfully, so thank you.
Well, that is powerful, and it's like, you know, what you keyed in on me is when you focus on meditating. When people first start to meditate, they feel that they have to go through all these mechanics. You have to sit in a dark room, you have to close your eyes, you have to cross your legs, you have to put your hands, you have to chant, you have to do all of this stuff. And when it comes right down to it, the essence of meditation is simply calming your mind, draining your mind of any thoughts whatsoever, and allowing just that stillness to be transcendent in your awareness. And that's where the consciousness flows, the source speaks. So, you know, again, these mechanics that we're doing are simply the mechanism by which we as physical beings can train ourselves to become a master of expressing our spiritual awareness and power. Brilliant thought, Monica. All right, so now what we would like to do is allow any energy to pass through. This is, I think, is very important. And Monica, you kind of set us up with your comment. Good energy, bad energy, just see. All energy as phenomena passing through, because if it is good, we will try to hold on to it, thus stopping the releasing process. If it is bad, we will try to suppress it, again, stopping the releasing process. We must be able to allow all energy to come passing through. Remember, all it wants is to leave. So just allow it to leave by opening up your release mode. And it draws to mind for me, and good morning, Jay, it draws to mind to me the fact that we all work on being in the flow. We've talked about life as a flow. We talk about money as a flow. We talk about abundance as a flow. And energy is just that. It's a flow. And anything that you do to impede, block, stop, hold on to the flow creates a damming up and a blockage in the flow. So we are energy. We're constantly, unaware of the reality, but energy is constantly passing through us, through what we perceive to be our bodies. Energy from the sun, radio waves, microwaves, magnetic waves, whatever it is. If we were consciously aware of all that stuff, it would probably drive us all insane, or more insane. Let's put it that way. So, all right, let's keep reading here because we still have a few pages to go. Many times there will be residual energy still lodged inside, like we talked about earlier. You might have picked a difficult circumstance or a deep-seated, deep-rooted situation to examine. This only means you need to release on it some more. After all, it could have been there for quite a long time. Each time some little aggravation occurs, someone steps on your toe, someone yells at us or disappoints us, someone cuts us off in traffic. Never happens to us, does it, guys? What are we doing with this energy? We're stuffing it. This energy continues building up in us the older we get. When we store up enough of this energy, again, it is smaller than a photon particle. It's actually measurable. It starts to fill our bodies and begins to press against our organs, our stomachs, our lining, our back area. This is what causes headaches, body aches, and other unpleasant bodily sensations. When it builds up, it causes the body and the organs to stop functioning properly. This energy can be dispelled, and when we let this energy go, it allows the body to normalize and function properly. The body is the perfect doctor if it is not impaired with all this negative energy. And I have to think, Nancy's always commenting on my male driving habits and patterns, where you're coming to a green light and somebody puts their brakes on in front of you, and it drives me crazy, And so I don't let the energy. I know enough at this point that I don't let the energy build up in me. So I yell at that person, and then it makes Nancy uncomfortable because I'm being an idiot yelling at that person who's completely unaware of the fact that they're being an idiot and impeding my progress, But I'm going to have to edge. I wish she was listening to this right now so that she would understand that I'm actually practicing this release technique. Damn, I never knew that before. How cool is that? Unfortunately, I'm creating stress in her, so she has to learn how to just let it pass through. That's her problem, not my problem.
Well, and also, Doc Fran, from my feminine side, that you have too, a beautiful one, by the way, all of us, men and women, but from the feminine side, to develop this capacity to feel, not only to express it, in the sense that that is the way of releasing it, but to burn it inside. That I think is really the technique release, is really about having the capacity to realize that your awareness is bigger than that reaction, impatience, judgment about the other being stupid, whatever it is that we go through, and all of us, this is our human reaction. But what really kicks me in here, and I want to thank you for the example, Dr. Fran, because that's what I like, real life, how do we do when this happens, right? But for me, I think the empowerment that we have here is to realize that we are the ones, okay, that we hold on that. That's what we repeat that experiences again and again. And what this release technique is inspiring me for sure, I hope to you too, is to acknowledge the ability that we have of being who we are, that is pure awareness, to let it pass through, but to let pass through what you are feeling. So at that moment, maybe, what it is that you are really feeling before you scream. It's like, or you, whatever, you say whatever about the other person, So it could be impatience, whatever it is, but deepening on the level of not having to react. I remember the first sentence of this book, it was saying, I don't remember exactly the sentence, but it was something about, is your circumstances the motive or is your reaction to the circumstances? Do you remember something like that was in the beginning of this book? So to master that, you know, so I just want to acknowledge all of us human beings here, you're discovering, you know, that what freedom we are here, you know, and to see we can do, you know, more and more, press the erase button, you know, so we react less and less. So thank you for sharing that, Dr. Fran. I totally understand the masculine side here, you know, like go out, you know, and the feminine that maybe is more receptive in the capacity that we have to feel. It's not so easy for our masculine side to feel, you know, so I acknowledge all this opening here. Thank you.
I think we'll kind of bring this to a close rapidly because we're coming up on our hour, and I'd like to have some final comments. The last section of this is how we see the world. Each and every one of us are naturally positive. However, we try to use our head to analyze things, and this blinds us to seeing what we really are. Let's pretend we're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. All we see is the color of roses. However, when we take the glasses off, we have an entirely different picture. So it is with our feelings. If we just invite the feelings up, open the window into the energy, and allow it to pass. I'm going to take your metaphor. I like that much better than the tube into the oil field myself, to be honest with you. Of course, this was written at a time when oil was a big problem. So if we just invite the feelings up, open the window into that energy and allow it to pass through the window, the picture will begin to change. Take a check and see if this is not already so. Reflect on those things that bothered you before practicing the exercise. Notice that you probably feel these things just do not bother you anymore. Or perhaps you're less bothered and now feel positive about them. Up to now, we have engaged what we have engaged in is suppressing, expressing, or escaping our feelings. What we are doing now is releasing, letting go. So we need to spend time playing around with the concept. It seems difficult. Do not worry about that. In time, you will discover this natural ability has always been with you. This energy, which is smaller than a photon particle, is stored up in our body and actually can be weighed and measured. If we had a scientific device for measuring energy, we would actually see or measure this energy leaving us. The energy is leaving, and that is the light feeling. You could let go of more, and even more. Remember, this is just the beginning. You're just learning to release. You can release with your eyes open or your eyes closed. It's a good idea to practice using both techniques, eyes open and eyes closed. As an assignment between now and next week, play around with what you've learned. As you move through a day, watch what happens. Look for feelings in your stomach or chest. When you find an unwanted feeling, disengage your head, place your hands on the feeling center, and allow the energy to come up and pass through.
Delicious. I just loved, you know, to organize rationally, you know, the possibility that we have here to apply this technique. And I love the window thing that you were saying, Dr. Frank. I think for me it really works, you know. So let's practice this during the week. But you know, I remember in the beginning of the book how Lawrence Crane was saying that, I don't know now it was Lester or Lawrence, I don't know who, but that they were sitting, you know, for days or hours or whatever. It's almost like, wow, when you take this seriously and you see, you know, that you can free yourself from all conditioning and you can be freedom, meaning that space that allows, you know, life to go through, not without, you know, negating, denying the experience, without judging it, grasping it, without personal. It's so funny. I mean, I just love, you know, getting it from different angles. So he was saying that he was spending, you know, like sitting on that chair, you know, for days and hours. Now I understand, you know, if you take this seriously and you really want to check in, like to realize how free you are and how peaceful or comfortable or harmonious, well, then if you are not on that frequency, sit down and just, you know, just invoke what it is that, you know, is stopping me here, or I'm amazed that if we are not who we truly are consciously, that I think is our journey here, we are going to do this, what he was saying here on the top, you know, grasp, reject, or deny. So to come out from that conditioning, you know, is a choice. And I think that's what we are doing here with this beautiful mastermind and beautiful book. And we are learning. So I feel a lot of gratitude right now, and even happy in the middle of the news that I had. I remember, Dr. Frank, when I started this session, you know, I was more maybe in the sadness, trapped by it. But, you know, it's okay. You know, it will pass. Who am I? You know, who am I really? The sadness, or the one that is aware of that sadness, that can go here, open the window, and let that go. Or I grasp it and I tell the story and I argue it and it's so true and look, whew. You know, the first sentence of the book, of the chapter of today, was saying something powerful too. Happiness is calmness with no emotion or effort. Many people are looking for happiness, right? Happiness is calmness with no emotion or effort. Something really boring for our minds, you know, but not for your heart. That I know, you know. So get familiar with that peaceful, you know, presence, awareness, permission, space. We can call it the way we want, but you experience it by yourself, okay? And says, unhappiness involves energy, emotions, and effort. So let's see if we can master to be who we truly are. That is happiness. So thank you. I just love it. We have 4 more minutes here, or 6 more minutes. Who would like to share a little bit practice or questions maybe? I don't see any writing question from the outside audience here. But again, and someone from outside wants to be on the panel, remember to email Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com, and you ask for what you want, and then Arne will organize it for you. So yes, Candace, I see that you opened the microphone. Go for it.
I noticed that when he says when you release something and then go for more and deeper and more and let it keep coming and encouraging it to completely empty itself out. And the thought occurred to me that'll help us get, I mean, that naturally follows the, I'll call it a problem for lack of a better word, the problem back to its source, which was created in me somehow, and you know, by some event, and perhaps my feelings about the first time it happened grew, and then attracted the next time it happened, and then the next time, and similar, until, you know, we hear that thing, a lesson keeps repeating itself until you really get it. Well, that's what this is allowing, all of that to release, and if we keep letting go the more on a certain topic, we'll get back to that core piece that began it to begin with, and taught us how to keep recreating that issue or that problem in our lives to begin with. So it's a real cleaner upper. I love it. I really love it. This is dynamic and exciting. It seems like there's no place to quit, but maybe there is. Maybe there is. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
That is so true. Thank you, Candace. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Nice. Anything else, Dr. Fran? If not, I can close myself here if you need to go. I know you are in love to the sailing, and I can see you enjoying the day, so no problem at all. I think this, you know, to go with this book slowly, gently, like we're doing here, to really get it, you know, is key. So thank you.
Well, the thing that I'm excited now. I was really in a quandary, in all honesty, about how to approach this chapter this morning on the call, and I think we really hit on a very productive method to do that, and I feel released on it, and good. And it's actually made me very excited to see where we go, because my sensation right now is this is just literally the tip of the iceberg about the power of this release technique. And so there clearly is a lot more to learn, because we still have a lot of chapters to go. So I'm very keen on finding out how he continues to expand and apply this ability to allow things to pass through and out to all the aspects of our lives, which we, as the conscious entrepreneurs that you express us to be, are striving to learn better and better the perfect application of metaphysical principles in our lives. So I appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time here this morning. Candace, I'm so delighted that you were here, because you really contributed things of enlightenment and importance to the call several times as well.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much, Doc Fran, for this perseverance that we are in now. You know, picking these different books. I love. I mean, we went through a lot of sections. And by the way, everyone that could be new here, remember that under the unlimitednetwork.com website, you will have a place where you can see all the archives, you know, the archive page or whatever. You can see all the videos that we have from the beginning. We study now several books together. So I love this one that is very practical, and I think is a very clear way to talk about enlightenment. Let's forget these other words and to really see, you know, at the end we are here becoming, we are here allowing, you know, and letting go what we grasped until now, you know, from judgment or ignorance, let's say, and to really allow ourselves to be that beautiful pure awareness and be curious about it, because that pure awareness is divine intelligence, and that divine intelligence, from what I experience myself, is benevolent, is good, is natural, okay? So I love this possibility that we have to practice to let go, really, okay, all what we think and grasp, and all what the feelings that we have accumulated for so long, you know, in our density here, to light up and you know, be more happy. So with this, I think we are going to complete, except if someone here wants to say something more. I see 2 microphones open, so I'm going to close mine and jump in, please.
Just wanted to say have a wonderful week, everybody. Great being here.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So if we don't, you know, remember the assignment, and I will recommend buy the book. I mean, really, take it, okay? Like, take the time to buy it, to read it. Like Doc Fran was saying, right now we are on chapter 4, and we have like 29 chapters or more. I don't know, 29 or 30 or something like that. So there is a lot step by step to deepening on this technique of releasing all of what we are not, that we have accumulated here, to shine and have it all, you know, without the attachment or the fear of losing or all the stuff. I think we go that way. So thank you, everyone. I wish you a wonderful week also. Next Saturday will be March 12th. And we have a powerful week this week with lunar eclipse and full eclipse, the lunar eclipse and new moon this week. So remember to stay connected with these powerful energies that are opening right now for us, for our evolution and our awakening. So thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful week, everyone. Thanks.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, Monica.
Thanks, guys.